Bhattacharya, thank you very much for joining us. We now move to the Middle East. A powerful video has surfaced showing the final moments of 15 emergency workers killed by Israeli troops in southern Gaza on March the 23rd. The footage was recovered from a slain paramedic's phone and shows a marked convoy of ambulances with flashing lights approaching the site near Rafah before being hit by gunfire. Let's have a look at that video. Let's have a look at the video. Apologies, we seem to have some technical issues. Moving on, the Palestine Red Crescent Society says the workers were unarmed and responding to a call for help. Israel initially claimed the vehicles were moving suspiciously in darkness without lights, but the IDF has now admitted that that account was inaccurate and says soldiers mistook the convoy for a threat after an earlier strike on Hamas operatives. The military acknowledges mistakes were made and says an internal investigation is underway. International groups are demanding an independent probe. The UN confirms one of its workers was among the dead. Calls for accountability are growing amid ongoing Israeli strikes in Gaza. Society has said about the matter.
تحمل مسؤوليات الإسعاف الإنارة تعمد جنود الإنار بشكل هستيري على فريق الإسعاف الذي كان يرتدي أيضا زي الهلال الأحمر ما أدى إلى استشهاد الطواقم.
We are now joined by Ahmed Fatwa, spokesperson for the Fatah movement located in Ramallah, Palestine. Thank you very much for joining us, Ahmed. This is a very extreme situation going on at the moment, Ahmed, with these 15 emergency workers, one United Nations worker being killed. The Israelis have said that they will look into the matter internally. What are your thoughts on this internal investigation amidst calls for an external probe into the incident?
We have no trust with Israeli internal investigations. This is a war crime in plain sight, and this is huge numbers of war crimes that Israel claimed they will investigate. Nothing happened. We have to see the obvious here, state the obvious that Israel is killing and doing war crimes deliberately against the Palestinian people. The video clearly refutes the Israeli claims that this was a mistake. It was clear targeting, and they opened fire on paramedics wearing their uniform and with their ambulances. It was clear that they are paramedics. This is added on top of the countless number of crimes that Israel is doing since October 7 and even before October 7. They have killed more than 200 journalists. Where are the investigation for that? They killed the UN workers and bombed UN buildings. Where was the investigation for that? As well as the World Chef Organization, as well, World Kitchen, sorry, and that was not investigated. This is a systematic targeting of Palestinian people and opening fire at Palestinian people for the intent to genocide our people, killing our children, women, and everything. It is surprisingly shocking that after 18 months that we are still hearing some excuses here and there. The world needs to act.
Ahmed, I want to go into this video a bit further. Obviously, Israel originally said that the Red Crescent vehicles, ambulances, along with other emergency vehicles, were moving suspiciously. This video that's now released contradicts that statement from Israel. How important is this video that the world gets to see it?
Very important, because the world needs to witness the crimes and the war crimes of Israeli occupation. Remember what they did to Hind Rajab, a child 6 years old that was surrounded with Israeli soldiers who opened fire at the car, killing her father, her mother, then her sister. And while she was on the phone calling for help from the paramedics, They opened fire at 6 years old and then opened fire to the ambulance that tried to save her. This is a crime after crime after crime.
Yes.
It is clear that there is a systematic targeting of the Palestinian people and the Palestinian children. You are talking about more than 18,000 children has been killed in Palestine since the beginning of this genocide. This is a clear targeting. The numbers are there to clarify the obvious.
Ahmed, what do you think about the calls for an independent probe going in to Israel? The United Nations has obviously called for this, one of their workers was actually killed in this incident. How would you think that we could put this in who do you think could go in and possibly investigate this incident in the most effective and objective way?
Well, the United Nations has the experts and the independent persons to do that committee, to investigate what's going on in the occupied territories. And they could, Israel need to allow the UN to intervene and to come to investigate, not only for the crime that took place against the paramedics and the UN worker, all the crimes that took place since October 7. There are abundance of crimes here. The world needs to intervene. Enough of this crime against humanity, enough of this genocide. Not only they need to investigate the crimes that Israel is doing non-stop for the past 76 years, as well as the 18 months of genocide, they also need to find a mechanism of protecting the Palestinian people. We are defenseless population without army, without tanks, without airplanes, and without any adequate support to defend ourselves. And we are facing this brutality, this fascism, this racism.
Yes.
You all have heard the statements by Netanyahu and his cabinet calling for killing children and women.
Ahmed,
calling. Yes.
Ahmed, could you just give us a little synopsis of what the Red Crescent actually does and the kind of the work that it puts in across the Gaza Strip?
The Red Crescent is trying to provide paramedics, provide help to send ambulances to the bombarded places to retrieve the wounded, retrieve those under the rubble, save the children, provide all kinds of health support to the people who are in desperate need right now after 18 months of starvation and lack of medicine. And this is not the first case, by the way, where the paramedics has been targeted. This is, a huge number now of health workers have been killed on top of the hospitals that are being targeted. The Red Crescent is a vital organization for the Palestinian people to survive and to heal themselves and reduce the amount of damage that they receive this open bombardment against civilian buildings.
Ahmed Fatwa, thank you for joining us. We now move on. Indian Prime Minister